Yeah, so while my presentation is coming up, good afternoon to all of you, and I thank RRU, Major General Rena sir, to having given me this opportunity to speak here. But I should warn or give a disclaimer that, first of all, I was supposed to speak tomorrow because it was more related to technology. But then, since I was not available on town tomorrow, I requested if it can be preponed or it could be cancelled. But then he was gracious enough to prepone it for me. So I'm going to come from all the geopolitics and everything to the grassroots level on drone systems and anti-drone systems. And you can see almost my topic is running to 4 lines. So I'll try to do some justice to each of these points here. And let me take it forward here. Yeah, next please. I can use that. Okay. Yeah, so I'll just go the classical staff college style that this is my agenda. I'll give you an overview on drones, classification and their operations, current drone technologies and future trends that are there. The Government of India initiatives, many of you have spoken, towards achieving Atmanirbharta in drone technology and of course the anti-drone technology also. And a bit of geopolitical situation and how drone capability in the armed forces is becoming more and more important as we see the wars that are going around in all over the world. And the anti-drone systems with associated technologies, briefly I'll cover and of course conclude my talk. Yeah, so drone basic, we know that it is an aerial unmanned vehicle. So briefly, it used to actually, it started with World War I, when people understood that we should not be losing people, fighting wars. So that is when they started thinking of having unmanned vehicles with pre-programmed instructions. And they varied widely in size, design, functionality, and they have diverse applications in various fields, which could be combat as well as, of course, as we see today, more and more drones are being used for economy purposes, let it be in agriculture, transporting, logistics, and other things. Of course, as I brought out that they first appeared during the World War I. What happened initially was they were very, very expensive. And they were very, very bulky because the electronic components and many other things, they could not be miniaturized and made to fly in the sky. But since early 2000s, when the miniaturization started and then enhanced computing power could be brought into small, small chips, they found it that, and also of course, start of artificial intelligence and satellite networks started coming into place and it was easily accessible and easily available. Then they found that having a drone technology started becoming more and more easier for different applications. And over the years, drones have become a cutting-edge tool as of now. And I think the whole seminar today is supposed to be on how drone technologies are going to evolve and how it is going to affect our geopolitical situation. So we have seen all of this, starting from the small DJ-4 Phantom. Most of them are Chinese products, and to the major, Reapers and other drones which are used for military purposes. Yeah, just a classification of drones. Unfortunately, I'll just bring it out as a limitation also subsequently. That actually, as of now, our Ministry of Civil Aviation has been entrusted with looking after policy on drones. Ideally speaking, I would say that we should have a separate ministry looking after drones. And they have been classified as what I've shown it on the slide. We have nano drones, micro and small. These are the most trouble-creating drones internally for the internal security of the country, I would say. Whereas the ones which are around 150 kgs and above are the ones which are generally being operated by the military. They have a very organized system of operations. Of course, they are continuously doing intelligence gathering, surveillance, and reconnaissance. But okay, they are being operated by maybe the Pakistani army or the Air Force and the Chinese army or the Air Force. But as of now, for internal security, I would say the nano, micro, small, these are the ones which are creating havoc. And as per the rule, you don't have to, for a nano drone, you do not have to get a security clearance, no registration, and there is no requirement for any pilot training also. So that means these drones, the data of such drones may not be available in any of the database. But subsequently, up to micro also, the same thing is applicable, although security clearance is required. And of course, small and above, they have to be registered. They should have a proper drone operator and other things. Now, coming to the military applications, they are coming under 3 classes, class 1, class 2, and class 3. So anything less than 150 kgs are considered as class 1 drones, which can be used because they also have a limitations of carrying the payload with them. Ultimately, a drone is useful to the extent what is the payload that it is carrying. Otherwise, a drone without payload can do, other than we have got some kamikaze drone, but they also have a payload of RCID or some bombs that they are carrying. But anything less than 150 kgs, they generally don't carry weapons. They have just surveillance purposes. And anything above between 150 and 600 kgs, these are the ones which are used for tactical purpose. They are capable of carrying multiple payloads and with lightweight ordnance also. And class 3 drones, 600 kgs and above, these are the ones which can even launch missiles at standoff ranges, which are shown, which we have seen operating in the Ukraine war or even in the Israel war. So drone operations, generally conventional, reconnaissance, surveillance, real-time intelligence, target acquisition, communication, and electronic warfare. So today, because of improving the line of sight across the border, people are asking us to fit EW systems, that is the receivers and jammers, on a drone, which can be lifted at least about 50 to 100 meters from the ground level, so that you have a much extended range for detection of any communication, comment, or errant communication that is going on across the border, or even for jamming them. And of course, we have the sub-conventional operations, where one of the major challenges is basically the direct targeting by suicide machine, dropping IEDs, ISR. These are rampantly happening across our Punjab and Jammu borders. And of course, drone size and payload is based on the mission that it is being intended for. So these are some of the examples. Initially, I think about 2010, 2012, this used to be a major threat. The drones are just flown into the airport. They hit any aircrafts which are taking off, especially during takeoff, because both are at high velocity and it creates a very, very heavy damage, although the drone could be of a nano size. And these are some of the quad operations which across the border, they can carry IEDs, small packages, but the effect and destruction and the chaos it creates, like you imagine IED being dropped, although it may be 1 kg or 1.5 kg, being dropped into an air base or an army base or across the border in a civilian area, it will create chaos. Now, drone technologies, although a drone is a very small system, but it has got multiple subsystems where the technologies have to be developed. The power system is one of the major issue as far as the drone, because drone is determined for its operation only based on its endurance. And obviously, it doesn't have a generator or it doesn't have a power pack or something like that. It is all operating on batteries. So until you have a good power system which is efficient, you will not have endurance. So obviously, today if any drone is flown, a smaller drone I'm talking about, at the nano or micro or even medium, they cannot operate for more than 30 minutes to 1 hour. So obviously, a good power efficient system has to be on board. And of course, it is powering other systems also. Like for example, if you're having a camera on it, a high definition camera on it, or anything like that, obviously it will have to have cater for the supply for the payload also that it is carrying. The other issue is the flight controller. So obviously all drones are controlled either from the ground or it is coming by a waypoint, that is basically the GPS pre-programmed waypoint, latitude, longitude, which is already pre-programmed, and that is why how it is flying, and after the mission it returns back home. So this is the brain of the drone, and I should say that although we are talking about Atmanirbharta and other things, most of the flight controller today are being imported. We are not able to build flight controllers in-house. And of course, with the flight controller and for the movement of the drone, we need multiple technology sensors, that is gyroscopes, accelerometers, which will give us the speed, the parameter, which gives us the pressure there. And all these sensors are required for effectively flying a drone. And of course, all of them have a GPS and navigation system. And many of the drones, obviously, when you're controlling it with a remote control, obviously it has to a radio communication system also. And also it transmits data, which is also it's picking up from the payload that it is carrying. And of course, all of them have data link system where, data in real time, because in case you lose the drone, they also want to take the data which is already recorded or is already picked up on real time to the ground station. Payloads, depending upon the combat mission for that particular drone, we have cameras and sensors which capture images, videos, and other data. And of course, they include environmental monitoring, delivery packages, and specialized equipment. The future trends is, as we know, semiconductor chips are becoming smaller by the day. So we need to have lighter drones. So when you have lighter drones, obviously the power requirement reduces. You can increase the payload that can go onto the drone. Ultimately, what is important in a drone is the payload. There's no point in having a very, very heavy drone. The issue is lighter the drone, more the payload that you carry. That means the more capability that it will have. And of course, the buzzword today is artificial intelligence. And what we are looking for in the drone is basically autonomous navigation, obstacle avoidance, and mission planning. So the drone is now being fed with so much of data that it can easily avoid obstacles, or even if there is a counter drone effect happening from across the border to bring that particular drone, how the drone has to react. That kind of intelligence and software is being built into drones today. Obviously, improvements in sensors and imaging systems, these are the ones which will be going as payload for the drones. So you will have better spectral images coming in based on which you can take decisions. They can also support troops on the ground as to how the vulnerability is and move in which direction. Long range and extended, long endurance and extended range. This is the buzzword as far as drone is concerned because of its power capability that it has. Now we are looking at modular and scalable, kind of a design where drones should not be for, okay, this is only for this particular purpose. It is only for, ISR purpose, or it is for a search and rescue operation, or it is for a combat purpose. They want to build the complete subsystems and the payload capability in such a way that it should be easily reconfigurable to meet any mission requirement. And of course, enhanced communication and data link. As we know, the data rate requirement is higher if you want high density video coming from the payload that is there in the drone. Obviously, the bandwidths required are very, very huge. So these are the things that has to be looked at as far as the technology part is concerned. And of course, the focus is also on the safety and regulatory compliances. That is incorporating features such as a collision avoidance system, fail-safe mechanism, geofencing capabilities, and ensuring safe and reliable operation. Now, I think many speakers have already mentioned before that yes, the government is very seriously looking at becoming a big manufacturing hub as far as drones are concerned in India. So the Ministry of Civil Aviation initiated the drone rules in 2021, very much awaited rules, but thereafter they slightly amended it also to make it the liberalized drone rules same year because there were a lot of criticism that came in. And they prohibited import of drones other than for military and security purposes to boost indigenous development. So as of today, you cannot import or any other for any other purpose, let it for agriculture or any other purpose, civilian purpose, you will not be able to import drones. DGFT will not give you any license. And of course, it is come into the PLI scheme. So for all startups and MSMEs, they get about 25 to 30% off, through government funding for whatever is invested by them for the development and production of drones. And because of all these maybe friendly policies, we have almost about 270 drone startups and MSMEs which are actually contributing to this particular development of drone technologies and manufacturing of drones. I don't know whether this is a bis or a bane, because each of them are going to fight among themselves at a cutthroat competition to become L1. Now, with all these applications and the ease of policy that has already come in, and the government is pushing it more into the rural sectors also, like Drone Didi scheme, where they are empowering ladies to operate drones for the agriculture purpose, or even today national highways which are being built at a very, very rapid pace. They're monitoring of execution, and all those things are also being done by the drones. So the drone industry is expected to reach about 5,000 crores by 2026, not very far away next year. We are almost, I think, today about 3,500 crores. And we are planning to become a drone hub, global drone hub by 2030. So the other things like a digital sky platform and ease of, this is basically giving us the ease of registration and keeping records. But of course, people who want to use it for malicious purposes, they are not going to get into DigiSky platform and register their drones, although this is a mandated requirement. As I mentioned, Kisan Drone Scheme, Drone Didi, these are the, they want to harness the drone technology for civilian application and also to empower people. So some of the challenges that we are facing today to meet this Atmanirbharta is basically, it relies heavily on imported critical components and also many such subsystems also, like I mentioned earlier. And even many of these payloads, like high definition cameras and these things, these are also being imported today. Absence of a nodal ministry for drone technology, and there is a need for initiatives to develop emerging drone technologies for unmanned traffic management and urban air mobility, because we are going to have multiple drones flying all over the place for multiple uses. So who is going to manage it? What is going to be the traffic in the sky? These are things that we need to look at in the future. Now, coming to the geopolitical situation, I think all my seniors and experts have spoken enough of it. But I would just like to mention that rivalry with Pakistan, prevalence of terrorism in the region is, I think, it is going to continue. Covert war is going to continue. And international border along Punjab and Jammu, most effective drone sightings, intruder capture, drugs and weapon recoveries. So the drones are coming across from the borders on that side. Enhanced infrastructure and capability building in the northeastern borders by China, and frequent standoffs that we are already having. I'm not getting into the economics part of it or how covertly they are operating, but that I think has been already covered by the previous speakers. But more and more Chinese presence in the Indian Ocean region is also an area of concern as far as for the our country is concerned. Now, China has all classes of drones from air to ground and even anti-tank missiles like the Blue Arrow 7 and many other drones that they have. Their drone inventory is almost 3 times the drone inventory that we carry. And use of drones as an effective weapon has been adequately demonstrated, I think, during the present war. Although Israelis, they claim their Iron Dome capability, where nothing can penetrate into their airspace and other things, but drones have hit them also. So it is not something that, you can have the best of anti-drone technologies and other things, but there is always a counter technology that is evolving every day, and drone is going to remain a threat as far as the military part of it is concerned. Now, coming to military drone capabilities in India, the quest for development of indigenous drones and other things started sometime in 1990s with DRDO project to build Nishant UAVs, which were not subsequently inducted, but it did not meet the QRs that was required. Then DRDO developed the Rustum and Tapas series of drones. To some extent, I think the Tapas series of drones are going to be inducted into the Army and the Navy. And armed forces are largely now dependent on imports as far as the Class 2 and Class 3 drones are concerned. And we have acquired the Heron 1 and 2 and Searcher Mark II, basically from Israel. And these are basically ISR-based drones, and they don't carry any weapons. And recently, as most of you will be aware, we have concluded a contract for 31 Predator MQ-9B drones, which has got both ISR and the combat capabilities, which can launch missiles also. So this is how Heron 2 looks and Predator 9B. So just moving on from the drone to the anti-drone part of it. Basically, as I said, drones are going to be a major threat as far as internal security is concerned. And obviously, we need to find a way of countering them to the extent feasible. And the drones have, they become sub-conventional platforms. They are basically detection, tracking are difficult because radar, heat, aircrafts are much more easier to detect by a radar or any other means than a drone because of its size. It does not emit too many, any of these features like, for example, the microwave or the heat or the visual or the electromagnetic or the noise signatures, which are very, very low. So detecting them and thereafter taking action against them becomes very, very difficult. And you need to have a hybrid system of multiple sensors if you want to detect and neutralize any drone. So for any anti-drone solution, basically you need to have a detection initially. The further you detect them, more is the reaction time that you have to classify them, and thereafter, in case your friend, obviously you don't take any action, but if it is a foe, then if you have to neutralize, then early detection is the key to it. And of course, to protect your vital assets, you need to have a drone-free zone. So your sensor combinations that you need to take or the kind of neutralization systems that you need to take will depend on what is the kind of asset, what is the size of that asset. So basically the components of any anti-drone system basically comprises of the detection system is what is I'm showing on the left side, and the neutralization systems are what is coming on the right side. So you have the RF sensor, radar, electro-optical and IR sensors, and of course the acoustic sensors. So these come almost in the range of detection. Like, RF sensor, generally you pick up much earlier a signal, and then you have the radar, electro-optical, and the electro-optical is generally used for classification of drones. As it comes closer, you can at least visually see what is the kind of payload it is carrying and other things, depending on which you can take action. And of course, we have the neutralization part of it. That is basically the jammers. We have GPS spoofers in case the drones are coming in autonomous mode. And we have the high power EMP and lasers, which are basically the hard kill options that we have for drones. And of course, integrating both these things to take a decision and to take action, you need a command and control software. And this does the sensor fusion and also gives the operator a complete information about whether it is going to be a friend or a foe. So this I have already explained to you. I'll just briefly speak about the command and control software here. This basically integrates different type of sensor input. Now we've got multi-sensor input coming. That is maybe the radar, the IOR, or the the RF sensor. The RF sensor basically it picks up the communication between the controller and the drone. So it is, although the drone is passive, there is a communication that is happening from the controller to the drone. Now that frequency is what is being picked up by the RF sensor, which is a passive device, and thereafter it classifies the drone depending upon what is the information that is passing between the RF sensor and the drone. And of course, for the ease of operator man-mission interface, we provide the graphic user interface and also the GIS interface so that The operator knows exactly whether it is coming from which side, flying over presently, which part of the country or across the border. So this is all integrated with the GIS interface. Some of the radar and the electro-optical sensor for anti-drone systems. X-band. Generally we use for anti-drone system because the size and the speed at which it is moving. We generally use a fixed platform. That is basically you have panels of radar like this one. We don't use a rotating radar because otherwise there is a chance of missing the drone. So we use generally a panel-based radar so that it covers all the 360 degrees from 3 or 4 panels, each covering about 120 degrees or 90 degrees. The electro-optical sensor and the thermal camera. So as of today, we have thermal images, HD color day camera, eye-safe laser range finders, and automatic video tracking. So even today we have capability where drones can be tracked on optical systems. In ECIL also we are making anti-drone systems which are as of now restricted only to the RF sensor and the jammer part of it. We provide with a clear line of sight, we can have RF sensor detecting drones at a range of 7 kilometers with 0.01 square meters RCS. That is basically the nano, I'm talking about the nano drone, like the Ninja 4 and other things. As the drone size is becoming bigger, obviously we can go up to 15-20 kilometers detection. Then we also offer the X-band radar 5 kilometers and electro-optical tracking up to 2 kilometers and RF GNSS jammer 5 kilometers. So these are capable of providing precise position of both drones and their ground controls. I'll just show you some of the screenshots. And neutralization in the jammer, it happens in the range of 400 megahertz to 6 gigahertz because this is the common frequency band on which all the drones are operating. So obviously what I wanted to bring out as far as the anti-drone technology is concerned is, I found when I joined just ECIL, I saw a lot of RFP coming from from Air Force and the Army and of course even the Navy also, that we want drones, anti-drone system detecting up to 25 kilometers, 30 kilometers. And they just wanted standalone units. For any place, any vital installation, they need custom built solutions. So first of all, to provide an anti-drone system there, I would recommend that they should call the supplier or the manufacturer or who are involved in the drone technologies to undertake a survey of that particular area. What is the vulnerabilities you are expecting? What is the threat that your perception that is there? Based on that, we will provide solutions. Just buying 100 systems or 200 systems is not going to help the cause. So the command and control software plays a very, very important role in terms of sensor fusion, which I already brought out. It is operable through a browser, accessible through the desktops and laptops, or even on mobile devices we can provide this thing. And it basically provides an enhanced situational awareness by providing a visual representation of the potential points of a drone. You can initiate jamming also from this particular C2 software, and it provides complete classification and can be tagged as a friend or a foe. So here is a typical screen of our anti-drone system. Other anti-drone systems also must be looking very similar. So here you can see that what I written in the bottom is the ADS where the location of the RF sensor is. And we are detecting a drone, that is DJI Phantom. And you can also see the location of the drone operator also there. So the whole thing can be visualized on the C2 system. And you can set up a geofencing depending upon what is the area of protection that you want to give. And in case any drone comes, it is not that it has to be manned 24/7 by an operator sitting in front of the screen. So if any drone moves into the geofencing that you're setting up, let it be 1 kilometer, 2 kilometer, 3 kilometers, whatever it is, it will automatically initiate an alarm to indicate that there has been an intrusion into your area. And it gives you the complete classification. You can set up, you can have a multi-drone detection is what is being shown here, but you can also set up a geofencing as per the requirement, that you want for where you want the protection of your area. And it will, once a drone is detected, it will, even the RF signals can be seen, signal strength and the history, and the complete what range, latitude, the complete speed of the drone, the complete classification, everything can be seen here. What is the manufacturing date? Obviously, what happens here is, for any anti-drone system, continuously you need to update the software. The library has to be continuously updated. So when we offer the anti-drone system to the customer, we have a method of every 3 months, 4 months giving an update so that the library gets updated. Otherwise, any new drones coming into the scene, you will not be able to detect them. You can also have the complete route of the drone can be mapped onto the C2 system. So we have been providing this anti-drone system for all major national events, like wherever the Prime Minister is there during August 15th at the Red Fort. It is all set up there. We also, the complete G20 different locations in Delhi, we had provided 3 or 4 systems. People were going to Rajghat, in that convention center. So different locations wanted a complete protection. Now, the drone policy came only in 2021. As of now, we do not have a comprehensive anti-drone policy. So, more or less, we are following this jammer guidelines because we are, this is any jammer that used to be has to be used in the country, that has to be approved by the Cabinet Secretariat. And towards that, we need to offer the system to them. They do a complete technical evaluations and other things, and then only they give the clearance. And as far as the jammer part is concerned, as of today, only ECIL and Bell are authorized to supply. What I spoke so far was the conventional one, but there are many counter technologies coming. Drones have started shifting their frequencies and many other things. So accordingly, there are new solutions which are coming as far as the anti-drone system is concerned. So this is something called as a cyber takeover counter-drone solution. So here we are not picking up the RF sensor communication, but to some extent we pick it up and we completely break the protocol of the RF sensor communication that is happening. And then we take over the drone by sending a much stronger signal and make the drone land wherever we want it. So we can designate in any unit a safe zone where you want to land the drone, and you can bring lat long of that can be fed into the drone by the cyber takeover with the protocol that is being sent from the ground. And then you can land the drone in the designated area because you don't want it coming close to you in case it is carrying some explosives or any other lethal payload. So this, and also in certain areas, like for example, airports or any other vital area where your radio communication is happening, you do not want the jammer to interfere with those communication. So in such cases, this is a solution that is there where it is not actually jamming the thing, it is having a protocol takeover of the particular drone and making it land in certain locations. So this is just the graphical interface of a cyber takeover system. So you have a drone coming in here, that what is indicated in the blue, and H, what I have indicated there in the white, that is a safe zone where you want a landing point. So you can take over the drone, detect the drone at a range of about 3 to 4 kilometers, and you can bring it in and make it land in a safe zone. So it can detect, track, identify, and also mitigate. Mitigate means we are not jamming it, we will come and make it land somewhere or send it back home. So these are ideal wherever you cannot have jamming techniques. And basically no false alarms, no interference to communication systems, and no collateral damages. So these come in different forms: portable, vehicle mounted, fixed. So to conclude, just want to say that drones with evolving technologies are becoming a major national threat. And of course the militaries are getting, they can be taken care of, but the anti-national elements who are operating the smaller drones, they are a major threat to the internal security. But we are largely dependent on drone imports for military purpose. And drone policy exists for civil use, but not for military or dual use. A clear anti-drone policy needs formulation considering the geopolitical situation. And best drone detection utilized solution is a mix of multiple technologies, and they have to be custom made for any particular vital installations or for the borders or whatever we are thinking of protecting ourselves from. Based on the specific use case, anti-drone solutions become need to be tailor-made, and we have the capability to propose that. So ECL, we have been, we can undertake survey of vital installations, defense establishments, airports, and provide a custom bit solution. That is what we are looking at. And it can be integrated with the existing security system. Already there must be some security system of CCTV cameras or many other thing in any vital installation. This can be integrated along with it for anti-drones. Thank you. These are some of my references which I took. Thank you and Jai Hind.